Fame was the drug for Marc. He wanted to be recognised in America. But in point of fact, I mean, he never really quite cracked it in the States. He never got through. Americans weren't really prepared for it. They regarded it as pantomime rock almost.
Marc's timing in the United States was bad because of his success in the world. He didn't have to beg America. And America, I'm not sure if America understood that.
He was trying to get into white soul music. He'd always loved Tamla Motown. As a mod, he'd been listening to Tamla. He was into R&B. So this wasn't a contrivance.
Marc adored soul music, and of course Gloria was a soul singer. Gloria was the singer that he found for his backing group. She had a great voice. They were on the road, spent a lot of time together. And as often happens in these cases, you know, he was away from home too long and away from June too long.
And Marc was very open about our relationship and presenting me as a partner. Marc was always loving and caring and was planning our future together.
Well, actually, I met her when I wanted some singers in Los Angeles. I was aware of her songwriting, but I didn't know she was such a good singer. Lo and behold, I found out. So it was good.
It was hard because Marc's wife knew, my husband knew, and everyone started to come to see that it was going on.
Gloria opened up a new vista, a new world for Marc. Black, American, soul singer. This is Marc's dream.
I recently split from my wife June. It wasn't very harrowing. I mean, do I look heartbroken? The reason we got married was because it was a fun thing at the time. Now it seems a dumb thing to have done. The facts are that she left me.
The facts that we couldn't live together, or that I wasn't prepared to play second best to anybody, because I really feel I'm worth more than that.
When June left Marc, she felt responsible for him because he honestly didn't know how to do anything. He didn't know how to boil an egg or make a cup of tea. So June used to bring him boiled chickens, and he would live on champagne and chicken. But you could see some of those Polaroid pictures, those nights when the lads would go back to Marc's flat, drink all that champagne. It was real Elvis Presley and the Posse time. It was really sick.
I think myself, underneath it all, he still loved her. That's what I think, and he was frightened to let her go.
Did you ever feel alone? Did you ever feel alone? Did you ever feel alone? Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
The thing about success, certainly in the rock and roll business, is that it gives an incredible amount. But what it takes away is irreplaceable. And sometimes I get a funny feeling inside me that I shan't be here very long. And I'm not talking in terms of things like success. It frightens me sometimes.
Marc's fate was really sealed when he went to Germany to record Sing Ally. There was a very troubled set of sessions. There was a terrible atmosphere there, which they couldn't put their finger on. Marc picked up on this, and one night Steve Curry, the bass player, found him crying, running up and down in the hallway in the hotel, saying that he could feel all the victims of the Second World War.
And I saw it on Marc's face, and he just broke down and started crying. So he came back into the control room, and he says, I have to get out of here. And I said, well, Mark, I said, no one has done anything to you. He said, no, I have to get out. He said, I just saw a family in front of me, and they were crying. It was a Jewish family. It was a father and 3 children. And I think it was just very close to him.
Musically, that zinc alloy period was really bad. I was way off beam. I got involved in drugs, particularly cocaine, and I started to drink a lot. I just didn't particularly want to be a rock star anymore.
Surprise, surprise, the boys are home. My guardian angels run down my telephone. The heat's on, mister, can't you hear them scream? Whatever happened to the T.Rex
The idea of the song is whatever happened to the enthusiasm one felt at the age of 12. The song is about growing up.
He looked really chubby and not the sort of elfin prancing, proud, cute guy that he'd been, which was sad. And I remember somebody called him the glittering chipolata.
He can't see that. When he looks in the mirror, he sees himself as he was.
His market, the teenage girls, had already deserted him in droves towards the, the peaches and cream complexion boys from America, with their unbroken voices.
So it would have been David Cassidy, Donny Osmond. There they were, and they were all gorgeous and of the same type.
He didn't know that the fans would end up loving that other artist, that other artist. He was like, I thought they were going to be with me forever.
He even saw fans crowding around his house when they weren't there and was afraid to go out. So he was living this fantasy.
I had a feeling of being pinned against the wall by hundreds of invisible people. I totally retreated.
Marc lost his way. Marc lost his way for a while.
Life is strange, our life is strange. Oh God, life is strange. People come and people go. Some move fast and some move slow. Na, 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 na.
For tax reasons, I was living in 3 countries at the same time. California, Monaco, as well as London. I wasn't really on top of what I was doing, and I wasn't happy with the overall direction. The whole strain in your head warps your mind. I'm still not sure of my sanity half the time.
He was dependent on me, and I was dependent on him. We were isolated. He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy.
Gloria became a serious emotional crutch for Marc. She adored him. She worshipped the ground he walked on. No question. She knew he was a bit like a man-child. How he needed comforting and helping.
I was advised to give up drugs because I could have killed myself. That's been one of the problems of my life, to self-destruct.
And that's when you realize, oh, I've got to pull myself together so that I can live.
Ooh, like a precious star, you are. Ooh, like a precious star, you are. I wanna spend my life with you.
Marc said the birth of Roland was something that was more fulfilling than anything that he had accomplished, and that was to have a son.
Roland Seymour Bolan. And he weighed about 6'6" when he came out. And it was really cute, because I mean, it looks like me, so it was really, and it's an amazing thing.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's going to stabilise me somehow.
This baby's made all the difference to my life. Whenever I feel myself slipping back into my old ways, I just imagine myself dying and Roland never really having known me. So 1976 is going to be a clean year for me. I'll be getting my kicks from playing to the kids again for the first time in 3 years. You could say I've rediscovered my original dream all over again.
It wasn't until 76, really, that we began to see Marc kind of slimming down again, sharpening up again, arriving, funnily enough, in the middle of the sort of punk thing, where so many of those bands absolutely saw Marc as a major influence and great idol.
Obviously could see the way things were going, and he was smart enough to kind of, you know, to embrace the punk generation.
What I love about Marc Bolan is he remained Marc Bolan. He didn't patronise the punk movement by trying to be a punk. He just stayed true to his roots, which was the East End streets. He was a dandy of the East End streets, even as a mod.
Under the veneer of brilliantine and behind this perfect profile lurks a lad who knows what the punk movement's all about. I still want to be known as a showman and a poseur. King of 3 streets in Hackney.
You pulled my love out by the roots, but I'm not such a bad boy. Oh
no. I always had an obsession with being top mod. It was a time when you daren't turn up at a club dancing last week's dance steps. I had competition then, more than I've had as a pop star. I felt more famous then too.
Even at the tender age of 17, Marc was the king of the mods. He barely could disguise the fact that he was very ambitious and he wanted to be a big star.
I think he was always a rocker at heart, but he was a chancer, Marc. You know, he saw whatever opportunity there was and went for it.
Marc was ambitious, but Marc knew what he wanted. This is what I want to do. I'm dandy in the underworld. I'm a London boy.
No man is an island, but Marc was closer to it. I think he knew that he was different and special. I don't know who told him that. Mum or Dad or school. But he looked in the mirror and saw someone special. I've no doubt. And it wasn't like some of us look in the mirror before walking on stage. And we look in our own eyes and say, you can do this, yes you can do this. Marc did that all his life.
The prospect of being immortal does not excite me, but being an idol for 4 years does. If God were to appear in my room, obviously I would be in awe, but I don't think I would be humble. I might cry, but I think he would dig me like crazy.
I dance myself